Cool. What's up? So, hey, back playing this game of Minecraft. Seems we've gotten ourselves an enchanting table, a little garden. It's been a week since I've played, as is the way of scheduling this in advance. But kind of feeling like maybe actually doing something for these chickens. I mean, the hole's working, but it feels a little bit cruel. Oi, man with llamas. Oh, that's a lot of eggs. I need to set up like a automatic egg collection system. I think I need hoppers for that. I don't have any emeralds, so can't do anything about that. Yeah, let's see if we can't make like a hopper. I think that's made with iron and a chest, isn't it? Yes, and I have a chest in here. So I think I might need 4 of them, to be honest with you. I kind of want to do that 2x2 thing. That's a lot of iron. We're just used up on those 4 hoppers. Fine. It's also okay. One thing that's been sort of plaguing my mind recently is change and how to become someone you presently aren't. 'Cause at the end of the day, that's the whole point of change, isn't it? That we go from someone we're not to someone we are, or we go from who we are to someone we're not. Why is this not decaying? I got to thinking about it, and it really does kind of confuse me, like the present moment and that whole concept. It's like, how do we? Where am I going to put this? Oh, like right here. Oh. Let's put chest down. Hopper into the chest, hopper into the hopper, hopper into the hopper, hopper into the hopper. Something like that, and then we could probably just get away with putting fences around it, to be honest with you. Oh, sorry if I sniffle a bunch during this video. I'll try not to, but it's kind of old habits die hard, as they say. Stick. I need wood to make planks, to make sticks, to make some fences. So I guess I could also use those fences to now finish up this, roughly. Interesting. That's what I'm saying, bro, huh? Now, this is gonna look kind of inhumane, I'm realizing. Why are these leaves not decaying? This is getting on my nerves here. God damn, my nose is so stuffed. I shouldn't make excuses for it. I should just not do it. How do you change, right? What is change? Why does my axe have to break right then? See, we can see change happening all around us every day. Things are changing. But at the same time, in a lot of ways, it feels like they aren't. That's a it is certainly a chicken box. But I would like to have automatically harvesting eggs so that I can just take those eggs every now and then and just throw them into another spot to have chickens to for feathers so I can make arrows and that goodness. My goodness. I don't know what change is, and it's hard for me to even like think about it in a lot of ways because it's like what's actually changing. I mean, if we slow down and look at things over a greater period of time, a lot more is changing. But it's almost like time is it's not what causes change; it's the result of change, almost. At least it can begin to feel that way when you look at it a little bit more like say almost esoterically. There, and then now we can grab some chickens out of here. Just some eggs, rather. Oops. It just occurred to me that if they lay eggs on those sides, probably not going to get collected by the hoppers, are they? I don't know. Or an egg. Gotta be careful of this. I might fall in and become a chicken. Yeah, I don't know if they lay eggs on the sides there, if the hoppers will actually be able to pick it up. But I could always fix that by just like making them planks or even stairs. I suppose I could. Oh, you son of a bitch! Okay, be free, chicken. Go back to the other chickens. I think chests still work when they're under stairs. Yeah. Then the chickens can get on top of that, can't they? God. Okay, so I guess we'll just have to do a solid block thing. Yeah, that's not really what I wanted to do. I think the planks look cooler. And if I do solid blocks, I won't be able to. I'll have to break this and make another hopper. What the fuck kind of sound was that? Basically, what I'm getting at with this idea of change and changing is like there are certain aspects of my life I want to change. There's certain things, habits I take part in that I don't know. I keep rationalizing to myself that they're okay. And quite honestly, I'm not doing myself or anybody listening to this any good by like obscuring what it is I'm actually talking about. Essentially, imagine the NoFap subreddit. And I don't know how this works with like monetization and all that, but these probably won't even be monetized for a while. Anyways, I'm talking the NoFap subreddit, right? It's a habit I've had for a very, very, very long time. Most of my life, in fact. And from what I can tell, a lot of people feel and kind of say the same thing. They've been down this path and they don't like it. They see that it causes them negative effects. And so they stop. And well, that's kind of where I'm at. It's something I'm trying to stop. It's the easiest way to say it. But I keep rationalizing it to myself, and I'm going in this circle over and over and over again. Oh, you son of This is a no llama zone. Yeah, that's why you're not allowed in there. Stupid thing. I mean, I suppose it's quite a personal matter. And I'm struggling kind of even talking about it because, like, oh, what if people I know watch this? And okay, so what? Honestly, oh God, I'm a human. I have human experiences like every other human. What do you fucking do? But the truth is, I mean, there's a part of it. It's like I shame myself all the time, right? I shame myself about it. I beat myself up about it, and specifically a lot more than in the past. I'm realizing it now, but one thing that I actually am kind of realizing about it is my motivation for actually wanting to quit. Now, porn, I understand. Quitting porn, I understand that. That's weird in a lot of ways, but I was once addicted to it, and I would say that I probably still am addicted to it. But mentally speaking, it's kind of easy for me to let go of that. What isn't so easy to let go of is the actual getting off part. I don't know why I'm like dancing around the words. Like, oh, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to talk about. It's embarrassing to put myself out like that. Like, oh my God, a human touches himself. What? It's like I'm getting all fucking flustered, even just like trying to talk about it. It's weird the effect this has on me. That's what I was afraid of. And I suppose the reason I don't want to talk about it, right, is because, oh, what if it changes someone's perspective about me? What if they look at me differently, you know? What if someone sees me as this like great stoic heroic person, but it turns out I'm not? Okay, what does that matter? It doesn't. It only matters as much as I make it matter to myself. But tying back to this point is I want to change. But at the same time, I see myself going about it for the wrong reasons. Like, do I want to change because I believe it's the correct course of action, or do I want to change because someone on the internet said that's a good thing to do and you should do that because this is the thing that good people do and I want to be a good person? Because if I'm changing for that reason, it's not going to stick. And the simple fact of the matter is, masturbation, in and of itself, has gotten me through some very dark times, some very traumatic experiences. And it does, like, benefit me. At least I feel like it does. But that's, having gotten sober from other substances and gotten over other addictions, I used to say the same thing about those addictions. So, am I just justifying it to, like, keep this thing around for whatever reason? In large part, probably. That's exactly what I'm probably doing. And the loop I get stuck in is I'll abstain for a week or a couple days, and then I'll relapse and I'll get right back into what I was doing. I'll go right back to it. And that cycle is having a bigger impact on me than the actual experience itself. Because ultimately what ends up happening is I'll abstain for a few days and I'll get, like, proud of myself, and then I'll relapse, and then I'll guilt and shame myself, and then abstain for a couple days, and then the cycle repeats itself and repeats itself and repeats itself. And if Voss taught me anything, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And it's the same story today. And not to get super personal, but that's just how it's been going the past couple months. And I'll keep trying to, like, rationalize it and justify it in any way that I can. But I just feel like it's a dangerous cycle. It's a very, very annoying cycle that I'm stuck in. And today I kind of thought about it, like, deeply. And really, one of the reasons why I do want to quit is I want to control life. And somewhere in my brain, I believe, or somewhere in my being, I believe that, of course, I want a girlfriend, I want a partner, and I want to have a partner that has sex with me regularly and does that, because that shit's amazing. But for some reason, somewhere in my psyche, I believe that I have to sacrifice, I have to give up essentially pleasuring myself to have someone pleasure me, which is a weird belief. It is. It's not entirely baseless. It's like, fill a void or make a void, fill a void type situation. But ultimately, I'm trying to quit because I'm, like, wanting to force life to bring me what I want. I'm like, hey, look, life, I quit the thing. Now give me the woman. And that's, well, not doing it. It's not working. In fact, it's causing a lot more problems than it's solving. Then I find myself, like, it'll be fucking a couple days, and I'm like, okay, well, it's been a couple days. Where is she? Life, come on. What's the deal? Like, I'm doing my end. Where's your end of the bargain type situations? Like, okay, yeah, that's not gonna work. Life is entirely more powerful than somebody that wants a fleeting experience. So I keep going down the same path, and the same thing keeps happening. I mean, I have noticed on the times that I do abstain, I notice that, like, I wouldn't say I feel like entirely better. In some ways, I don't. In some ways, I do feel worse because whether you want to accept it or not, it's a great stress relief. It really is. No matter how you look at it, it's a very, very good stress relief. But at the same time, it is also a conscious sacrifice of your energy. Energy that, in large part, is probably limited. And we may only have a finite amount to use and to dedicate to whatever it is we choose to dedicate it to throughout the course of our lives or days. And by so freely giving it away, I'm not able to give it to things that maybe I want to give it to more. On the other side of things, I see myself, at least today, I started to look at myself as like, okay, well, I have changed a lot, actually. I have put in a lot of work on myself and the things I'm doing and the life I'm currently building. I've put a lot of work into it. I've overcome every other addiction in my life. Unless you want to consider like chocolate and food as a substantial addiction to overcome, because I still eat sweet food. I still eat some food out of just taste. But I've gotten over a lot of addictions in my life: weed, nicotine, caffeine, alcohol, some other harder drugs that are probably not ideal to mention on public forums. Fact is, I've done that. I've put a lot of work into myself to get to where I am. So, to some degree, I see myself as deserving to experience that. Even if it is fleeting and temporary and it's like a drop in the water. Who the fuck? Interesting. I'm getting NASA comms in my fucking lo-fi music, apparently. Interesting. Ominous banner. Okay. Cool. Ominous bottle. I don't really want to fuck with that. Dripstone can go in here. I think I got a little too personal, but I'm going to keep talking for just a couple more minutes while I kind of work this out in my head. What was I just saying? I was like, yeah, maybe I do deserve to pleasure myself from time to time. Right? Because it does feel great. You can't deny that. Nobody can. Then the other side of it comes in. It's like, oh, but wouldn't it feel better with a woman? Of course it would. Of course, I can't deny that either. However, what I can argue is that a woman would require substantially more time, dedication, energy, and effort to maintain something worthwhile. Not cool. right? Having a girlfriend or being in a relationship would require so much more of me than just doing it myself for now. And this is where I kind of get into the resolve of the whole thing. It's like, okay, maybe I ought to not worry too much about this. Maybe, I mean, a good part of me only really believes that I'm supposed to not do that. It's because of the internet, because of other people's opinions of the situation. I am like entirely neglecting my own circumstances to essentially take on the opinions of external, external opinions. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm neglecting my own thoughts and beliefs in favor of somebody on the internet said, you should masturbate because real men don't masturbate. And I want to be a real man, so I'm not going to masturbate. You know what I'm saying? It's that kind of mental game I'm playing with myself. And that really starts to get on my nerves. It's like, well, why? Why does a quote unquote real man have to be this way or that way or whatever way this person on the internet says a real man is? So I'm not, a lot of it isn't coming from a place, I sound like Mike Tyson there for a second. It's not coming from a place of authenticity. It's coming from a place of me wanting to control life and me believing that I have to be a certain way because someone else told me I have to be a certain way because they're a certain way and they say that all real men are that way. So I have to be that way if I want to be a real man. Then I take a step back from that and I go, well, wait a second. What if I don't believe that? Oh, my AirPods are apparently low on power. That's not a good sign. You see what I'm getting at, though? I'm getting myself to believe in my own worth, and my own worth is up to me. So I like the concept of nofap. I do. And I can definitely see how at times and in certain circumstances, it could be viewed as a negative in my life. Like, there have definitely been days where I overdo it and end up feeling just drained and exhausted and lethargic as fuck and like not willing to get anything done. And then there's days I get off real quick and I'm like, let's take on the fucking world. So it's so arbitrary and it's so subjective that there's like, why am I fighting myself so much over this? Especially when it's something that on occasion is like the best thing ever, the best feeling ever. I get in moderation, you do it too much, the greatness of it goes away. Yeah, certainly. I understand that. And I'm working on that. And maybe that's the whole point of what I'm going through right now is I need to learn how to moderate it more than anything. Like I need to allow it for one, and then just moderate it because it can be a very useful tool. It can boost me up. It can get me through tough times. It can certainly relieve stress and just overall result in a better mood, better outlook on everything than cutting it off, because when I cut it off, I just get so like focused on it. Like I don't want to say it's all that's on my mind, but like when the urges hit, they hit and they hit like a fucking brick wall. And it's like, okay, well, why am I going to keep running into this brick wall and just forcefully try to fight life so fucking hard when letting myself like take part in it results in just better flow? All jokes aside, it just results in a better experience overall than cutting it out entirely. I'm realizing now I probably should have pushed these stairs just one back. That's fine. No big deal. So, yeah, I suppose that's my 2 cents on the matter. It certainly gets frustrating, and it's certainly a back and forth game, but the conclusion I'm kind of coming to is like, I'm not really in a place to have a relationship, despite how bad I want one. And if this is something that contributes more positively than negatively to my life, then why am I fighting it? Why am I fighting it on behalf of someone else's beliefs? So that's my 2 cents on it. We got a little bit personal with that. And I mean, let me know. Let me know if you're going through similar situations. I'm sure a lot of people on the internet probably go through the same thing. There's a whole fucking subreddit about this, for God's sake. So now I'm curious to know, like, what's your take on it? Because my take is it's a net positive thing for me. It's net positive. And if I could rein it in and get it under a little bit better moderation and be like maybe once a week, 1 day a week, I'm allowed to do this. If I can get to that point, then it's a substantial positive in all aspects because it's boosting me up and the time away from it makes it better. And it's getting me into this place of consistency where if a relationship does come into my life, then that's not something that, like, sex isn't going to be something that's going to be had every day, despite how bad I want it. So I see this as a net positive thing, and you may have a different opinion. I'm sure the subreddit has a completely different opinion, and I know it does because a lot of my beliefs around it were influenced by that subreddit. It was like, no, you gotta stop it. You gotta do it. You can only be an alpha man. You can only unlock 100% of your brain if you quit this. And it's like, okay, shut the fuck up. For one, I've already unlocked too much of my fucking brain that sometimes I overanalyze every single aspect and facet of life and dig myself into a fucking pit. I don't really need to unlock any more of my brain. And but it only gives you comfort. It allows you to stay comfortable in the situation that you are. Okay, well, what if I like where I am? What if I want to actually accept where I am in life and get comfortable being who I am? Then, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I want to be comfortable. I want to be comfortable in who I am. I want to be comfortable in the place I am in my life. And if that means like letting go of all these potential wishes and desires and dreams and goals for the future, like maybe I have to let go of having a perfect wife, but in return I get to fucking freely touch myself when I want to, or when I allow myself to. You know, the thing is, when I'm constantly obsessed about something in the future, I'm completely neglecting the present moment. I'm neglecting everything that currently is, and I'm so obsessed with this potential thing that could be in the future. And in doing so, I'm essentially telling life, like, hey, life, you have to give me what I want, or I'm not gonna enjoy the experience. But stepping away from that, and that's what I'm saying is when I'm trying to quit to control life and force life to bring me who I want or bring me this relationship I want. I'm telling life, like, no, I'm not going to be happy unless you give me these things. I'm not going to feel good about myself unless you give me these things. But the realization I'm kind of coming to is like, okay, maybe I do deserve to actually feel good every now and then. And I can use this as a healthy way to feel good. It's not a drug. It's not necessarily negatively impacting my body in any substantial way like drugs or alcohol would. It's not, it doesn't have a death grip over me. It's not controlling my life. If I want to, I can't say if I want to stop, I can stop, but I can abstain for a few days. But when the urges get powerful, it is like a fucking brick wall. And I know that's the exact same rationalization every addict uses for any substance they're addicted to. And I rationalize it every way I possibly can. And this is what I'm saying. Like, sometimes I see myself as a little bit too aware because I've already analyzed every fucking pro and con of this, and it drives me fucking nuts. But I think the only solution and the only way out of this is just through it. I just have to fucking accept that this is how I am right now. And maybe if I implement small change over time, then maybe I will end up at the destination I want to be at in the future. But I can't just go from 100% to no percent like that. It's not going to work. It's going to fucking come at me like a brick wall, and it's going to create an environment that is not sustainable. So yeah, I could probably keep ranting on about this, but that's going to do it for this episode. I do hope you enjoyed. I hope you got something out of this. Feel free to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. I'm curious to know what your take on this is. And I might bring it up again in another episode. We'll see. That's going to do it for today, so I'll see y'all soon.